Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warndo.
And boy,
Coach of Calvinator. Let's
Calvin,
go.
or the ghost of Calvin.
Let's do it.
Is in the house.
This will be a conversation for another day, but Calvin's just come off his draft weekend.
It was a big weekend.
It was a big weekend.
Holy
it looks like
hat.
it. Looks like it and smells like it.
Does it really smell like it?
Might have to open up that door.
I hate to say it, but I think you've come out of the weekend with a bad team. Just judging by, I don't know, I just get this feeling.
You're spot on, Roy. Yes, it's a bad team, bad feeling.
Anyway, we're
bad
coming
everything.
off. We want to get stuck into this because Cal needs to go to
dear.
bed. We are talking the match sims. We just saw, the last 5. We talked about the previous ones on the previous podcast. Go and check that out so you can hear that. But let's just get stuck right into it because there's plenty to talk about and plenty of takeaways that we want to get into.
He's unfortunately been delayed somewhat. We expect him back sort of around 5 or 6, but Zorko's ability across half back, all Australian honours.
Drop the mark. Nick Dacos. Pies have got 2 in a row.
Alrighty, let's get started. So it was the 3-way that we saw up on the Gold Coast at Metricon Stadium. No, what's it called? People's First Stadium now.
People's First.
That's it.
Gold Coast, Brisbane and Collingwood played,
Yes.
as we heard there.
Who had a draft weekend?
Yeah, well, dog
Yeah,
apparently.
exactly. I've got to work it out. There's too much. This is just out of the normal. So let's talk Collingwood. Big thing that I saw straight up was Perryman.
Yeah.
Right.
Is a midfielder. You've been a hater, Cal.
I
Are
have
you on
been.
board yet?
I have been, but I'm in.
Is this enough?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Because like we always say, these pracky games, it's not necessarily about what they're scoring and
Yep.
stuff. We know, we've seen Perryman for years. We know what he can do.
Yep.
It's all role dependent. It was there,
He
wasn't
will
it?
be more of a defensive mid,
Yeah.
but
Access
the
to more
role,
tackles.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But he was just in the
Yes,
guts doing
everywhere.
his thing.
Yep.
So I think that's something Collingwood were missing. So their key players, like Tom Mitchell wasn't there.
And won't be.
And DeGoey, who will be borderline as well. But they did, because they played this 3-way where they played different games, can't read a ridiculous amount into it. But he was a midfielder.
He
was,
yeah.
And that's, I think, what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, I think it was 9 CBAs versus Brisbane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Dacos was just awesome, Nick, that is.
As he is.
And I think that I really want him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's too expensive with the buy,
agree.
whereas Perryman, that's cheap enough to take.
But his
with a
value
buy.
with the buy still too.
Who?
Because
Nick. Come
he's
on,
going-
dog,
He's
don't.
going 115.
You start to get weak knees
Here
when
we
we
go.
get this
Yeah,
close to the
all right.
season.
No, we've got to avoid
Oh, we
because
did
of
though,
the
dog.
buy.
He's M1 in the rolling, Roy, is he not?
Dacos?
Yeah.
No.
He could.
Oh.
He will be
He's
there
too
at
much
one
of a
point
tag.
this
He
year.
will be the most tagged player
Okay.
this year.
In the
Teams
game.
that don't tag will tag versus Nick.
Yep.
All right. And then his brother, Josh Dacos. So that halfback role is real, and he will rat too, I think. That's the thing.
Got him in draft.
Did you?
Oh, nice
You got
pick.
one.
Cop that, boys.
The only interesting thing out of that is what it might mean for Houston.
Yeah, I know.
So will Houston have as much?
I just didn't think they'd commit to moving him
Agreed.
from an All-Australian type,
Yep.
position
A
for
winger.
him
Yep.
to when you've got Houston. But
Exactly.
hey, I'm sure they know what they're doing.
All right. Let's move into some other teams then, and we'll go with the Brisbane team. Dane Zorko. The thing I liked about it,
I know.
he played that like it was a real game and thought that those fantasy points counted. Of
course
he
he
was
did.
screaming.
That's all he
for
does
it
now.
at
Yep.
points.
Yeah.
like he was just going like he was 10 metres away from someone,
Yeah.
demanding the ball.
He knows it is best in his hands.
We talked about it off air. Like, there's a guy like a Nick Dacos or a Zorko who they just don't stop
Relentless.
feasting. Yes.
Like, realistically, like they're as close to pig status
Yes.
as anyone because of that
hunger.
relentless
Yeah.
winning, losing,
Yep.
10 minutes left, no minutes left.
Don't care.
They will be hungry and demand the
It's like
pill.
they're chasing a triple-double or something.
Yep.
Like, they
Yep.
really just
They
want
do
it.
not stop.
Now that Brisbane midfield, of course, it's good. We know
Yes.
that they will come off the flag. Lockie Neal was excellent. Josh Dunkley was busy in there too. But Will Ashcroft had plenty of centre bounces. So I'm not as bullish as what I might have thought last year on him. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be quite good. He could knock on the door of triple figures.
Knock on.
You think he gets there?
I think he's charging through it. Yeah, I think he's that good.
I think so.
Yeah, so he's there. Now, his brother, Levi, so he didn't come on until that second game. Did you see him get cleaned up?
No, I didn't see that bit.
Yeah, so, but yeah,
Bit
he
harsh.
should be all right. So he was getting heaps of the ball too. Like he was just actually, I think we knew that this was going to be the case. But
Yeah.
that's what we saw from him.
It was just whether he was fit because he's had an interrupted preseason.
So,
but
yeah, so
sounds
that
like he was
management, if he
fine.
plays then this week, that'll be the thing. Now, Gold Coast were interesting. I guess the thing is they were missing a couple of players, like a Sam Flanders. Took wasn't there. So how much you read into that, but they won both their games, so they'll be happy with themselves
I
with
reckon
that.
they will be.
But Lombard, because he hurt his shoulder, I don't think we know, well, I haven't seen recently if there's any...
not sure.
What that looks like time-wise, but he was probably the only real one we're watching there.
Yep.
Dan Rioli wasn't playing. Noble, I saw, your mate, your little draft mate.
Noble?
Yep, he'll be all right.
He will be all right.
Yeah, you like a bit of
I
Noble
do.
action, don't you?
It's always available.
Isaac Heaney, career best year in 2024, and 2025 has started in much the same fashion for Heaney. He's got the Swans seconds, the Bob Skilton medalist, two-time All-Australian.
He was good.
Is he only two-time All-Australian?
Yeah, he should be more.
It's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable
He
scenes.
finally got his chance in the midfield last year, and that's where he'll be. So
yeah,
that
he
hasn't changed. Like some people might have thought that he gets pushed, but their midfield makeup was probably all that you thought it would be in a sense. So running through there, you had Heaney. I think he had the most CBAs out of him, but Chad Warner was there. You had bits. Oh, Rowbottom was there too.
Yeah.
But you had sort of the bits players. Goulden went in there.
Yes.
And so Goulden racked.
He did.
He was another one of these It's a bit of that outside play
Yes,
type.
isn't it?
Some of
Yeah.
these guys love it and
Field
can
day
do
for
that.
him. He'd just be licking his lips.
So the big one that wasn't there though is Mills.
Yes.
So this is where we got the news. Well,
Sound the alarm.
Yeah.
plantar fasciitis,
Yeah.
mild though, and a test to play this week in the AAMI Community Series.
I've done a bit of reading about it. It's not good.
It's not
That's
ideal.
not good. Not
Painful.
Well,
I'm not a doctor.
No,
You need to jump on the.
you probably should.
Robbie
say that.
Harvey. No, I do need to go. I'll go to one this afternoon.
But yeah, is it an issue?
I
Yes,
think
it
it's an
is.
issue.
It's
We
a
haven't
huge
even-
issue.
We haven't even played a game.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with it.
Right. Have you crossed him off?
No. He's
Have
too
you-
good to cross off.
Have you
At this
penciled him
stage.
off?
The win is
I've,
that
I've popped a question mark next to it.
Good.
The win is we get to hopefully see him this week in the AAMI
Okay.
Community Series game. If he plays there, I think you erase that question mark.
Yes.
And obviously,
And we
opening
get
round.
opening round.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're probably in a position where it should be all right. But
the question mark
we're
will
gonna-
be answered.
We're going to, 100%.
yeah.
So we have the luxury of being able to watch it more than we traditionally would have
Yes.
because we get to see a proper game and
Yep.
if he's there or not. If
But
he's not.
unless you
like,
had all three, like you've got that pivot there of Roberts or Perryman. So
that's why it's not panic stations.
Roberts, he was all right.
Yeah.
He was doing his thing back there. Lizard was taking a few more kickings than you might have liked to have seen.
Yes, I did notice that.
But yeah, I think that's so. Hang on. what
I
did
think
Lizard-
Roberts is so comfortable now.
Roberts only had one kick.
Yeah. Roberts is so comfortable now, though,
He can do what he wants.
with his spot in the team. That game is just second gear.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. Your man Sheldrick, Roy, is
Yes,
out there.
he was.
So
Just keep a sneaky eye on Sheldrick. He can play, that kid.
right, for the Giants, Josh Kelly was in the CBA mix. So that's because we'd heard about Tom Green being out
Yes, Canelio out.
and Cornelio.
Mm.
Yeah, so
So they had to put someone in there.
They had to.
Thing is, though, Kelly, if he was full-time CBA guy,
Yeah.
he would push back up towards 100.
He's 100,
It's just that time out on the wing, he ends up getting pushed out, doesn't he?
does.
So he was in there with Bedford, Finn Callahan, and then they just had a heap of guys roll through there as well. That's sort of what that looked like. Now, their kids are probably where we're looking because these are an early buy team.
Yep.
And Cody Angove was probably the best of them. Kicked a couple of goals. He's
Mm.
at 271k and has the forward status.
Yes.
So, yeah,
I think there's a spot for him.
Okay.
Yeah,
it could be.
He may well
They've
be
got
in our
those
team.
players coming back. That's going to be the
That is the-
flag with
yep.
any of these guys, I think, from that suspension. But we do get the opening round. The worst thing is that opening round is like just one less game that he plays for us in the fantasy.
I know.
But he could get his spot because he was busy. He looked really good.
Oh, he looked great. So the thing is, we'll obviously be watching it closely, but if it looks like he plays so well that one of these
Have to,
guys, is not just going to be gifted his spot if he has an impact.
Now, what about your boy, Stoner?
Stoner's in.
The Stone. The big
Stone.
Stone.
Yep.
He's locked and loaded.
Rock's
He
in.
was good
I think
in the
so.
back line,
Yep.
doing everything that you needed.
So
to
I
see.
did hear, as much as I'm talking very bullishly, and he did play well, that spot, according to Lockie Whitfield, is between two.
Oh,
I can't remember who the other
Lockie's
one is.
now coach.
Yeah.
Right,
But
okay.
he just said they're both going really well and realistically fighting for the one spot in the D7, he said.
So we
he
do
called
get
it.
Okay.
we get another look. Obviously,
do.
Amy,
We do.
and then we get opening round.
So if Stoney plays opening round and is just solid, that's his spot at this stage.
It'd unlock a lot there as your F6.
Look,
At
we
250K.
used to,
Man, you could
there was
do
a
that
time we used to
potentially.
hate the opening round. And now look at us.
Oh.
Oh, this is
It's
great.
weak.
It
It's
is.
because we're all weak,
It is.
isn't it?
Agree.
We are.
100%.
So soft.
now-
Oh, but we get a
Getting
look at him.
it.
Yeah.
Ew. It's as bad as loopholing.
Shocking.
Leaky
Leaky.
Oh,
didn't
here
come
we go,
on
right.
based into the last quarter.
That's a problem, isn't it?
Massive.
It is because they 90% of the teams roll out their
Yes.
probables early,
In the first quarter,
and then
first
the
half.
other guys get to roll through. And Leakey, although he came on and kicked a nice goal,
Yep.
he did come on very late.
Mm.
It's a concern.
It is a concern, but yeah, we'll see a little bit more from these guys next week in the AAMI Community Series, and then also opening round.
Breeze carried that kick over the head of Logan Evans. Mitch Hinge inside 50, finds Fogarty. Goes quickly onto Rochelle. Rochelle the handball into the goal square. Curtin the goal for the Crows.
Your boys,
My
Cow.
boys! My boys!
They played the fake showdown up in the hills.
Get a win today?
Actually, I don't even know the result of that.
We don't need to know the
I can't
result.
tell you everyone's individual scores, but
And who played
idea.
Well
where?
done to all those people counting the scores too. by
Yeah,
the
great
way.
effort.
it's
Great
an effort, all
It's an
right.
effort.
Well done.
Well
Crows
done.
24-point match simulation win. But does that count for the whole thing? Because they did one of those 6-quarter jobs.
Yeah, classic.
Nah, for 4 quarters. They just count it. Good on you, Sarah. Just had enough time to do that.
Gosh.
Anyway,
well,
it doesn't
anyway.
really matter.
No, so,
But let's talk about the players.
okay.
Midfield. Let's talk about
Okay,
the
Crouch
Crows.
Crouch is the
is a
issue,
problem.
isn't it? Yes,
Crouch is a problem.
Yep.
Because he's doing enough to, once again,
He's the
just
main
be that guy in the middle.
And
who
last
gets
year,
bulk CBAs.
last year we were like, is he in the middle? Is he in the team? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
we
there. He's
should
there.
get him.
And we're all celebrating it.
Yes.
Now we're the opposite.
We are, because he's too expensive to pick.
Yep.
But he's clogging up a midfield spot that people
Yes.
like Dawson could be averaging 110 in that role.
this is the thing.
And Rankin could be averaging 95
Yeah.
with those CBAs.
We've said it all pre-season. They're one of the most intriguing teams because we don't know what it's going to look like. So Crouch, 2/3 of the CBAs,
Too many.
along with Jordan Dawson. Well, Crouch isn't doing anything else, is he? So
Nope.
Saligo's the one, though, Cow.
He is.
Was it a year too early? Was that last year you got him? Or the year
It
before?
would have been last year, I reckon. Yeah, always a year too early for old
But
Cal.
he's got a midfield role. And then Peatling, about 1/3 of the CBAs.
But he
So
was good.
He was very
He was
great.
really good.
There's no...
It's-
He just strengthened his position in my
He did.
team. I think,
Yeah,
off the back
oh,
of that.
definitely. You
So
would
then-
love him to have higher CBAs than that.
Yeah.
But the beauty of his half forward role as well is he does push up and he becomes that fourth mid, it looked like, at
Yeah.
a few stoppages up the ground.
So they were missing Rankin. That's the key one there because he's had all the talk in the last
He
week
has.
too about that midfield time, which I think I'm buying into and I believe.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. They've got a big midfield mix.
Theirs is a lot bigger than a lot of other teams we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So
especially with those guys coming
that's a concern there. Lairdy half back, that is what's happening. So
Yep.
you can lock that in for DPP ahead of round 6. Now Draper and Curtin. Draper looked all right. He was looking very
He
good.
looked all right,
I think
yeah.
we just need to see where he definitely fits into that side. And that vest is just a massive concern.
It
I think.
is.
Curtin's the other one at 300k forward.
His role.
Yeah, it's just not going to be conducive to big scoring.
It's a slow burn role, isn't
But
it?
you can't have him on field.
No,
He can't be there.
no. So is he then, are we going to shave
Well, I think
cash
so.
off him?
I think so.
Well, we might have some options. That's the thing at the 230k
Yeah.
with the forward status that we could be
That's some
playing
handy
with.
cash.
Yep.
Well, it's needed.
It is.
70k can make all the difference with some stuff that you're doing as well at the moment.
I think there's a rookie crisis.
There is. Yep.
Dog?
Yep. Coming out of this weekend, there's a lot of
It's
question
true.
marks.
He was right all along.
I'm always right.
It still makes his article that he wrote less justifiable.
I know.
It was like 10,000
Everyone's
words.
getting a game.
False hope.
That did some good numbers, Cow.
No, it didn't.
Did some
I
great
reckon
numbers.
it did. All the advertising you gave it, plus the false hope you gave everyone.
I'm going to ask you, can you start with a Wayne Miller a Cow?
Oh, goat.
He looked all right.
Seriously, yes. He
Oh,
was.
he does. He's
and his
good.
value.
No, we're not doing that. But, hey, draft. You could do it in draft.
Yeah, you could.
All right,
Very
let's talk
Put
late.
him on the bench. Yeah.
Very
Port Adelaide then, and that midfield with the horn bag leading it, Roy.
All right.
I've done it.
Are you on the bag?
Do you know who I have got rid of?
Say that. Right.
I've got rid of Rosie for the bag.
Oh.
Hinkley has said, I don't care if you don't think you don't have the tank. You are the number one
He is.
midfielder in my team.
Tag target.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Now, what did they do with it? They just spread it and let everyone
Yep.
have a bit of a run
Yep.
in there because no one had bulk CBAs. But when when Horn Francis was out there playing, we don't get the beauty of time on ground stats
No,
or anything here
no.
to look. So you've got to trust your eye on that. But Hornbag, wow.
Look,
He's peacocking.
yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah.
He's getting to a point in his head where he's like, hang on, I don't know if anyone's as good as me.
No, he is that good.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
So could he slide into F1?
Yes.
If you had a draft now, would you take him before Bailey Smith
Yes.
and Jack McRae? We'll talk Jack very shortly.
McRae might be number one.
No.
I've got him ahead of Bailey Smith now.
I know who's
Wow.
number
Bag.
one, but it's not any of them.
Caleb.
Get to
We'll
it.
get to that shortly.
I
Roy,
nearly got crucified for putting him in the rolling at all.
just wait.
So,
I'll get to it.
Hornbag. Then you had Butters, Rosie. The other names floating through there, Drew and Wine. So that looks like that's five.
I know. I don't like how big that list is.
Yeah.
Like Wines had a good year last year, but gosh, when you got those guys, it's got to be Bag, Butters, and Rosie
Surely.
bulking in there.
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
Drew, he is a very good player. He's no longer just that little tagger. He's a good player. I don't know, is there room for Wines? And if there is, these boys are dropping CBAs collectively, aren't they?
Yep.
So are they not as tempting anymore?
So you're off the rose, off Rosie now, and on the bag.
Well, I just am. He's just like attracted me to
Yeah.
him. It's
No,
like,
I can see it.
Is there any
I'm
world
getting
that you
drawn
would
to him.
actually put like a mid-forward into the midfield this year?
I currently do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
a
so that was
sicko
your
with that
change,
sort of
yeah,
stuff,
right.
though. Like,
Well, that's true. That's
we
a
do
flag.
have a
you
lot
wouldn't even need to do it, but you'd still do it.
Potentially,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
It's silly.
But the forward options, we
Yeah.
do have a lot more that you're probably feeling confident in their value. Would you
Yes.
say that? Would that be a fair comment?
Hey, I'll take any justification, dog, other than
Yeah.
whatever Cow just said I was.
The other one there is Berry. So he's going to be good. I think he's going to play, but the
He
small
will play.
forward, we talk about the slow burn that Curtin is. At least Curtin's a big lad, taking marks and stuff
Yep.
as well, and got that opportunity. I think that Berry, he's nearly 300k. You just might have to go
Yeah.
off the list. Not off the list. but-
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on.
He definitely plays round one.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing. And this is where job security versus scoring is
Yeah.
is a massive part of it. But then that's where Curtin should be ahead anyway, because I think Curtin's a lockety-lock to be playing in there.
I think you're right.
Gee, Costanti was in a one-on-one, but just did enough to keep the two defenders out of it. Daniel just able to saunter to the top of the arc, and he kicks his first goal in North Melbourne colours, albeit in match simulation situation.
Caleb.
It was a big kick.
I tell you
Kick
what,
for a little man.
Little Pistons.
I
went bang.
watched the game.
Oh,
Yes.
good. You watched that one.
I
did
watched
you?
this one.
Good.
And you remember it?
Yep.
Oh,
Never
even
in
better.
my life have I seen a guy seagull like
We just
Caleb
talked
Daniel.
about Zorko a few minutes ago.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
this
telling
is
you
more
what.
so.
This guy is going to be your F1. He will be the number one ranked forward
Wow.
this year.
Well, he's got the opportunity.
He does.
Kick in, King.
He scored 12 points in a minute.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
Let's wind the clock back. We switched on this year.
I know, you are. Yep.
So recall the recruiting drive.
Yep.
Do you want to have fun, Caleb? Yes.
I like fun.
Do you want to rack up?
Yes, I
Yes.
like that as well.
you want to play half back? Where it is the juiciest, happiest role in AFL. Yes, we'll come. Okay, I will. Sign, bang, F1.
Is it like what Aaron Hall did, Zeeble did, Fisher did, Colby did?
Look at a couple of those names that managed to do
Seriously.
it. Fisher, racking
Mate.
up.
So Fisher wasn't there in that game.
It doesn't matter.
He's so bumped, it's not funny.
He racked like it was
I think they need him,
ridiculous.
to be honest, back there.
He's a bit classier than
Fish.
Fish.
Agree.
Oh,
Makes
yeah.
Fish look like a silly salmon.
Yeah, it does. Very much.
No, but I think they need him in the side. That's the thing. They play together, but he will be there, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
He took
Salmon
kick-ins.
gets dumped way down.
He would kick it in. He'd run off, demand it back,
Yep.
got it back, chipped it forward, got it back. It was ridiculous.
Everything I hoped and dreamed it would be.
I'm not going captain material. That's what I'm going to say.
Midfield, what does that look like? Well, LDU, of course, but Tom Powell, that's happening.
Look, I must admit,
so
I did watch some of this game.
Yeah.
Kapow caught the eye.
He was very good.
He
wasn't he?
looks like he's improved a lot, like super fit. He was good in there. I'd bump him up a draft list.
Now, Sheasel's numbers as a midfielder, like time in there, weren't epic, but he did what he wanted.
Yeah.
He was Dacos-like.
Yeah,
He's just so good,
He
and
is.
you want him.
100% you want him. You'd be silly if you didn't. It's just whether you can pay top dollar at this
All
stage
right.
of
And
the
that
year.
is, you are paying top dollar.
Yeah.
You are.
Like it is, where he's priced at is
Yeah.
almost the top end of your expectations
Yeah.
for him too, aren't they?
See, I can see him coming out and hitting that score that he's priced at like week in, week out.
Yep.
It only takes, though, at the start of the year, a little injury in a game or a super tagger somehow slows him
scale
to
the
some
hardness
extent. And
Could be an
then
issue.
the leeches come.
So you're
Bargain.
sounds like you're off Sheasel.
But I'm not going to tell people not to start him. But I don't have him at the moment. No, I shaved that cash.
Fair enough.
But not through watching him.
He's
like
still
he's
just
amazing
very,
to
very
watch.
good, isn't he?
Did you hear about his diet the other day? Did you listen to that interview about what he eats
No. So that's why Riley's
and how
gone to him.
pedantic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, mate, this is next level stuff.
Okay.
He'll live till he's about 190 for a start.
Whereas I ate 4 kilo of pizza on the weekend. Not
Was
living
it
in
one of those nights where you ordered way too many and they were just in the fridge and you kept going back for more, Cow?
Right, I woke up this morning. There's a couple of bits near my bed. I was like, how'd they get there?
Yeah.
They weren't already in your mouth before, though, because
Nah,
V8's had a couple of little spits today. haven't you?
I've had a busy day.
you're not reaching your break even. You got no chance.
Unless it's pizza bites.
Dry reaching. right, who are we talking about?
Stick to the script.
Anyway, he'll
well,
be
let's
good.
talk about your mate Colby Cow.
Yeah.
Like, you just cannot be too bullish on him anymore. I
tell you what.
he was more half forward than even wing.
He's fast.
He is.
He
Oh,
is.
he's
and
fast.
and he's a pig.
Yes. I'm with you, though. That half-forward role
So
is happening, and it's legit. So,
Colby is going to have a great year.
yep.
But they want that burst of speed
Yeah,
and
they
that
do.
kick inside 50, not running out of 50.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. And they've got Caleb Daniel back there now doing
Yep.
that. So Sheasel and Colby can be up there hitting Larky on the chest.
Yep. Colby will be a guy we talk about next year when he's getting more mid-time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
But
so
not-
hopefully he does play more forward and he could have the forward status
Oh,
for us.
really? Yeah, F1 next year. 2026. Here we come.
X played 3/4 or so, rolled him over. But mate, Dum Campbell.
What?
He had a crack.
He did have a crack.
Well, when you're only playing, this is your only game that you'll play in the year.
Oh, Warnie. His mum's listening. Oh, come on.
He's got a
No.
point to prove, and
He
he hasn't
does.
managed to prove it in the last
He-
15 years, so he tried again.
He will play more games this year
Good on him.
than he did in the last couple of years.
What?
What? Just to chop out Max.
Really?
Max doesn't need to chop out.
No, I don't know. I reckon
Oh,
they
look who
might-
doesn't have Max in their team, trying to justify it.
No, I do.
Do you?
Do you?
Not yet. I haven't made the change yet, but I'll be getting rid of TDK. We'll talk about him in a moment. But
that's got to go.
yeah,
No, he did have a crack, and he looked good. Kicked a goal.
Yeah.
Big TC.
Tell
Yeah.
you what,
It's
saw
not a
couple-
preseason without talking about it.
It is.
Let's
Now,
be
you
honest.
may not have picked it up on the KO streaming vision, but I saw a couple of the photos, the good professional photos come out of it. He's got more hair on his back than me, I reckon.
Does he?
Yeah, shoulders, arms.
That makes me want him a bit more.
Yeah,
I highly doubt I've seen your back.
he's
I
an
highly
old
doubt
man.
that's true.
He's just an old man.
Go on, Cow. Tell him the Nair story.
No. He used to get me to rub Nair on his back. He did. He goes, I've got a hot date
But you
coming
don't
up,
have to
Cow.
convince me. I asked you to tell him.
I've got a hot date coming up. Can you nair my back? I go, no, dog. You sicko. Not touching that rug.
But you would ask me to do it all the time too.
I'll never forget the flick of your glove as you got stuck into it.
Let's play on.
No glove.
I don't reckon Finn O'Sullivan, he doesn't have any hair on his chest yet, I don't
wouldn't.
reckon,
No.
the little fella. But he's out on the wing. The issue with him is scoring.
Yeah.
But he's probably, I feel like he's almost the best job security out of the range of all these.
I know,
rookies.
because it feels like North stick by the guy that they do this with as well, doesn't it? Like even Colby last year, for example, he
So
was
the
locked in. He
Sheasel, the
wasn't
Colby,
and those boys weren't getting vests,
Yep.
and they were locked in the team for the year. Like they had nothing to worry about in terms of getting selected.
Yep.
You boys are in.
I haven't ruled him out.
No,
But-
but you're not excited. It's not
No.
like Colby last year
It's
where you're
tempering
going,
expectations, and you might be left with a better, cheaper option.
yeah,
is
yeah,
almost
that's
where
fair.
it's at.
That's fair.
All right, let's move to Melbourne. And are we all on board Rivers yet? Because if you're not, you mustn't have watched that game.
I'm on the Rivers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we all had him already, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yes. So, it's just
So they're
actually
midfield.
impossible to take him out now. He's one of the few defenders that you wanted to see getting more mid-time than back time.
Yeah.
He scores better in there.
So no Petrarca, no Viney
Yeah.
are the ones in that
I reckon
one.
Viney's the only one to really worry about out of those.
Petrarca
two at the minute.
might play a fair bit forward.
Yeah,
I think
I don't think he's taken more than 50%.
So
CBAs.
Rivers was the main man in the midfield. He had the most centre bounces there. With Clary sort of next, Clary did sit.
Yeah.
How did Clary go?
Good.
I thought
he was
Okay.
busy, but I think the busyness might have been too many handballs and not enough of the other stuff. Those stat counters out there, his score didn't look massive for his 20-odd touches they had him down
But that's
for.
okay. We'll
It's
tick that
fine.
off. Yep.
So what I was looking for with him,
He's
Cal,
fine. Yep.
bit of hunger, actually having that zip away from the pack again instead of getting
Yep.
tackled every time he picked it up and tried to run. Tick, tick.
Okay.
He looked way fitter than he did at any stage last year, and he had that bit of that spark back in his eye.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a little bit of old Clary about
I
him.
like it.
Yeah. No,
Harvey
tick him off.
Langford is ahead of Finn O'Sullivan.
Okay.
Yes.
I think he's good. And because old mate Xavier Lindsay there too, who did play on the wing, but he's good. He'll be an option, but that's where Langford's ahead of him in the pecking order, I think.
so.
And I think, yeah, there's less chance of the sub, I think, for Langford. I think he's just going to be a good player, half forward into the
I think so.
midfield.
Oh, Submarine has sore toes there.
Dog, you can have the job if you want, mate. Like, seriously.
No, he's got it. Congratulations.
He's got the job.
Roy, that's yours all day. But yeah, they're probably the main names out of that. We did see a fair bit, but I guess we just need to see these more full strength sides. That's the key thing for this. So Melbourne, yeah, missing no Max there either. So that's obviously an issue. Not
course.
having him there and letting your mate Tom Campbell go about it, even off the half
He's not my mate. Why?
He is.
Is he?
Yeah. You both have the same
Those
hair colour.
halfbacks is too,
Dum-de-dum.
because we got Caleb Windsor, who's moving back there. We didn't see him, and we didn't see Salem either. So, yeah, they're the ones from that one.
Prospect for Blues fans. This time goes to the left and kicks high. And going back with courage. That's an awesome mark by Hasty.
Hasty is one. We'll talk about him shortly. But the Blues, Roy,
Yes.
your
Roy,
boys,
this is a problem.
we've got issues.
Yes.
We do. We've got a massive.
Let's talk about the two big boys, TDK and Pitbull.
Because you were like, there's no way.
Your read.
You're like, there's
I
no
should've-
way they're going to play together.
I should have said there was one way,
Oh, yeah.
and that's if Curnow or Harry were out.
Okay.
And Pitto looked very comfortable out there. I have not seen numbers on this, but I reckon it would have been a near 50-50 split
Okay.
of
Hang
CBAs
on,
between
let
the
me have a
two,
Mr. Worldwide.
which leads me to believe Worldwide is now
In.
way more in than I had talked up.
Okay.
Yep. He started. I saw the start of the first three quarters. He was the starting ruck, Pitbull. for those.
And Tom was just shaking
Tom
his
was
head
up
in disgust.
forward.
He was angry.
And Tom looked good flying for marks too.
Tom's a better forward than Pitbull.
Oh,
Right, goodness.
Are we... Is it a cross-off?
Jesus, close.
Look, at this stage,
even if
we are shopping elsewhere. We're having a good look around.
Even if we see the right thing or what we want happen, there's going to be doubt week to week. And that's
every Thursday night when teams drop.
In saying
But
that,
let's not think that he's a disaster when he's with Pitto. So, yes, it would be not ideal, but he still would be 85. He's a good player.
As a forward?
Forward ruck.
Right.
50% of time in
85.
Yes, he kicks a goal. He still does his work. It's not a disaster. It's just not what you picked him for.
Okay.
Jordan, who was counting the stats, he reckon he had a 40-point third quarter.
Who did?
DeCon?
DeCon? Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
It's not what you're talking about.
So it's not the disaster that you think it is, but we're trying to pick an ideal world team, one where we can sleep at night and maximise every position.
And he might not
maximise it if Pitto has the prominent role that it looked like he may.
Right.
While Curnow is out.
Sounds like it's a cross-off, Roy.
There's no way they're playing next year when they want to win games, Harry, Curnow, DeConning and Pitto.
Okay. Yeah, agree. Yep.
Right, thank you.
Because TDK will be at St Kilda.
Oh, dog.
That was a big
We're
offer.
offering him big money.
It was a huge offer.
You take that. Yep. Move aside, Harry.
Stop talking about that anyway.
Holland's off half-back.
Yes.
That's there. He was able to rack as well. He actually showed some pretty good signs of being able to score in that position in that.
It seems everything that we hoped it would be.
Okay.
He looked very fit for a start, just covering the ground really well. And it looked like a license to run. Like, you know, when the back line pushes up, like for a swing and top. He was just hitting really nice spots for uncontested before they bomb inside 50. You think about him adding a little plus 12 in nothing play at times like that throughout the game.
So Doherty wasn't back there?
No.
Doherty was a pure midfielder.
He was.
Oh, no.
Still underpriced.
Well, when I say pure midfielder, he spent a lot of time in the midfield. He was centre bouncing it more than what we thought he would be.
Yeah. So that inside stuff he talked about was real.
Yeah.
So he is still a good pick. I think there's more value around, but not half-back value, Doc.
Yeah.
No Walsh in that, so that's probably the flag on where that looks. But George Hewitt looked good, lean.
Yeah, he did look lean. Chera looked good as well.
Yeah, Chera was good.
Chera looked like back to 95 guy.
Okay.
Yeah, which is 20 points unders.
Yep. Tick that off.
Right, who else do we see from the Blues? Jagger, he was a bit quiet. Did cop some friendly fire from Harry.
Did.
And then sat out.
So, Jagger, you know how we've just locked him in as a 60, safe 60.
Okay.
It's pretty hard off that half-forward line to be that safe 60.
And he's a bit skinny too. Like when you see him, there's not a heap
there
of
isn't
him.
much of him. No, that is very true. And it's just, you put Walsh back in that, he's not getting CBAs.
Yeah, okay.
Because they are actually quite deep in there. So if they're uninjured, scoring is a little bit tougher than we may have thought.
So we there's a rookie crisis.
That's even if he's ready for round one. That was a massive crunch.
Yeah, so we'll be monitoring that, I guess.
Did you see the severity of it? Or did
I
they
haven't
just rest
seen what
him?
it just rested and hopefully just precautionary or whatever you want to say, but yeah, we need more news on that.
We do.
Coming through
It was
and see if
gutsy.
he's right.
It was
Obviously, he's still a
gutsy for the
couple of
record.
weeks away from that first game. But, you know, they may rest him in this Pracky game, the AAMI game.
Yes.
Maybe. Who knows? St Kilda, though, they are going to be up there. We might have to do some power rankings of the most relevant teams. They're going to be close to the top, I reckon.
Well, they were up there last year.
Well, for points scored,
Yes.
and picking them too. So this year, we've got a heap. Let's just reel off some names.
Yeah, go for it.
Jack McRae. Tick, tick, tick,
Oh,
tick,
my
tick.
goodness.
30-plus touches.
Cop
in
that,
the guts.
Bevo.
I was surprised.
Oh, unbelievable.
Looked interested,
Yep.
head erect,
Yep.
looked fit,
Yep.
and finding the ball at will.
And 1 point,
What a surprise.
I saw some muscle tone.
Yep, there
too.
was.
Yep.
So these guys here, the Saints went a tight
They did.
This is unusual.
midfield
I
rotation.
like this.
I like tight midfield.
So they were missing, let's call it, Jack Sinclair, who has obviously had some midfield
course.
time, but halfback hopefully is where he plays. Mason Wood, more wing. than anything. Mateus Filippo, he will be in there, but it won't be for a few weeks. Hunter Clark got a bit of clock towards the end of the year. He wasn't there. Zach Jones, that's what he has to play if he's in. But
he won't
yeah,
be, I don't
but these guys here, it's interesting to look at. So you're pretty much going, Jack Steele was there and was excellent. He probably was, if the fantasy scores like properly taken for the weekend, he probably had the most.
I would agree with that.
He was right
everywhere. Yeah.
So Steele and McRae were the two big guys. Then Hugo Garcia, who is now heavily on the radar if he wasn't before for you, because he's got the forward status. He's one of those guys in that 400k range, so he's probably rocking that F5 spot for you, or maybe even F4.
Yes,
if you wanted to.
Look, Roy, you and I are Hugo fans.
We are.
And we have
always have been
for years.
Look, mate, we know he's a tackler. But he was finding the pill and looking to link up through. He was doing everything. He looked amazing. It wasn't little, please go and lay a tackle, Hugo.
Yep.
It was Hugo is finding the ball between laying a tackle for fun. It was amazing. It really has me thinking, after looking at all these expensive rookies and how much they didn't have an instant impact, and you've got to give them a bit of leeway. It's their first proper crack against another club, so you don't expect too much. But look at someone like Hugo, who's had a year in the system. Yeah. He's done his vesting time.
Yep.
He's in the midfield mix. He did nothing to be kicked out of there yesterday. Paying an extra 100k to avoid the vest and have someone that looks ready to get out and go from the get-go.
So 421 as a mid-forward.
Yes, it's very tempting to reshuffle and call people like him your rookies at the moment, I reckon.
I like it.
Yeah, shave that cash and do that to find the cash to go and do that. Because a guy like, Jagger's not the best example of it, or Finn O'Sullivan, because we like, hopefully, their job security, but they could be the guys where we're going, we thought they were just those locks for that. Maybe.
Now we've got to find some cash.
Do that a little bit like talking about O'Driscoll, if that was that conversation in the midfield as well.
Well, that's where I'm starting to try to shop O'Driscoll, Garcia areas.
Yep.
Just because the vest, like I said,
these guys might even give us a couple of other options. That Box Hall.
Oh, yes.
So he was good. He was right in the midfield rotation as well, 230k. Looked good.
Looked very good. They just looked a bit different to some of the other rooks.
Yep. Hasty was the other. So he's at basement price.
Had a field day out there.
He was good. He'll take marks. And I think when I heard Jack Steele talking about him on the radio during the week, he had him in his mix to be in there in the back line, ahead of players that we thought might have been there.
We don't have enough Saints in our team.
No.
Max Hall's another one, 230k mid-forward.
He looked great.
Yeah. He was great. So they're going to have that. The one that was at the top of the list was Travalia. Didn't play until the last quarter. Cow, you've been the one hot on him. You've had a good read of
because
that,
I have to, dog. I'm the St Kilda guy. But no,
Jeez, you missed some.
Oh, yes, I did. Nasiah was good.
Yeah, he was good.
No.
Yes.
He was.
Here we go. I haven't missed him.
Great call by you because, look, there was no Sinclair.
Yeah.
So he didn't have his partner in crime to keep happy. He looked like he'd gone up another level.
Yeah.
He was amazing. The game was coming to him so much easier than anyone around him. Intercept marks, the cheap marks.
Yeah.
Just everywhere. So Jack Steele, Warren's right. If you had the fantasy points, he would have been probably number one. But nipping at his heels has to have been Nasiah because, guy, he was doing a lot.
But even like a Jack Steele, so he's got less than 2% ownership.
Yeah.
No early buy.
Well, are they going to muck around with Jack anywhere other than CBAs this year?
No.
So as long as his shoulder's right, and I think it was his knee, watch for strapping. God,
right.
Great unique.
Now, there's one guy you haven't talked about.
Okay, Cow.
No. All I want is an apology from you two.
What for?
Talk about him, off you go.
We're sorry that Marshall was unavailable to play in this game, so we can't get a proper read on everything.
My boy.
Boydie.
He was good.
Excellent.
I've seen some scores.
We knew he would be, Cow.
I knew you would.
He was getting double teamed too.
They
threw two at him.
You found him. You recruited him.
I got him out of the
You
sample.
brought him to the AFL.
They threw two at him.
I've seen some scores floating around, and I saw an 86, 88.
There's been a bit of discrepancy with some of the scores.
I saw a 92. And this is a rookie. Roy, it's a rookie.
I really appreciate everyone doing these points, but I saw two different outlets with a 30-point difference.
And that's okay.
Maybe one of them was up there with Calvin this weekend.
I took Harry's stats and he got 130, right? So I get that. We're all different. We all see different things.
Just a lazy plus 30. Anyway, I think we're playing
Do
another
your eyes
fantasy
even
game.
work at the moment? They look like the cross-eyed.
14 tackles he got. What? No, you stick to the script, mate.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You're getting through.
You are
I'm
doing
actually
well.
proud of you.
Harry Boy, Moy.
Been no sign of Tony Abbott.
No? Good one.
As long as we can keep that.
I'm ready to
train
go.
ticking
Get on
over.
with it.
All right, Roy, let's get to the final segment here. Because we've got AAMI games coming up.
We do. So, what do? Turn it up.
Oh,
one
another
notch.
notch.
What number are we up to?
8.
8.
Out of 5. That's the notch.
What?
That is.
We're up to
It's
8.
like, turn your amp up to 11, man. This is where we're at.
Go.
We've got to be right. up
Okay.
there.
So, I want to have a look at one player we're going to watch very closely from each team over the AAMI. I know at the moment our squads are still probably got 50 in them.
Yep.
But I just want one player that we're going to watch in each game.
All right, well, I'll start. Tuesday night, 7:10 p.m. is Geelong against the Bombers. Could be a heap of Bombers on a watch, but Geelong, I'm going to go with Sam de Koning. Like, that's the one. If he's the main man in the ruck, and that's what it looks like at 564K, it could unlock a lot for us in our back line where we're not really blessed with our rookie defenders. So it could be, a D5 or D6 there to do that and make some cash.
It changes the whole structure of our team, that de Koning, and
big
whether
time.
he's number one ruck. Because if he is, it becomes a must-have.
He's the best ruck in the family.
Oh,
Roy?
is he getting $10 million offers? I don't think so.
Harry Boyd should get it. I'll kick off with the Richmond Collingwood 7:10 on the Wednesday. Look, I was a hater. Not a hater, because that's a strong word.
Only because I liked him.
Well, that was part of it as well. But now I'm a lover, and I'm talking Harry Perryman.
Yeah.
So,
You were right, Warnie.
No, you were, because the role's there for him.
That's what I said.
So, be interesting ones to go in, all those guys come back.
It
but
will, but
no.
it feels like they got him there for that,
I think
regardless
so.
of who's in or out.
And especially the Mills, that's an easy pivot from your Mills because they are the exact same price.
And obviously they got the early buy as well.
The same buy. Everything about it's the same.
Hakeem Olajuwon pivot. That's textbook, isn't it? All right. The next one, Thursday, Hawthorn versus the Western Bulldogs.
5:20 p.m. and you'll be able to listen to that live on AFL.com.au and the AFL Live official app.
That'll be great fun. Actually doing that. It's always fun doing that. So I'm looking at Sanders again. So he came out. Well, he played and had 28 touches.
Against the Bombers, that's right.
And the thing is, he just looked outstanding. He looked lean. He looked like he'd been eating whatever Sheasel's been eating because he
not eating.
He was fit as. So I'm interested to see, and I don't know if they're going to play or how they're tracking, but Bont and Libba weren't there, and he had bulk CBAs.
Yep.
Now, he did nothing to be kicked out of that mix other than you've got the best player in the game and one of the best inside players in the game just waiting to come back in. So I want to see what his role looks like that night, because at the moment he's in for me.
He had 30 touches down here last year, remember?
Yes.
In that
Oh,
game?
well, that's true as well.
Yeah.
I just think his best days are probably
I think so.
behind him.
Yep.
So that's who I want to have a look at.
Thursday night is Brisbane and Adelaide.
Your boys.
Keeping an eye on Isaac Rankin and the midfield mix of the Crows.
Yes.
That's the big one, because I'm also interested in Dawson after what he did, because Dawson was like 59% CBAs the year before.
Yes.
So
Rankin's the key component
I
there because
know.
he wasn't there last week.
Yeah, so interesting how he fits in with Crouch, Peatling, Saligo, all those guys as well.
Yeah, fair call. Friday night, 5:20. The
After
Giants
work.
versus the
Easy.
Blues. Ollie Hollands, I want to see it again. So I saw enough of that half-back role to give that a massive tick. Tick that he's getting DPP. Tick that I know he's outscored his price in the last few games when he played that role last year. I just want to see a little bit more racking, and I think it's going to happen that night.
That rolls into that night on Friday, 8:10, Gold Coast and Sydney. The question is about Mills, basically. Will he be right? Because he is that test for that plantar fasciitis. So, and while we're watching, is it a pivot to Roberts if you didn't have Roberts in that game? So we do have opening round, though. That's the positive in that. So I'm watching to see if Mills is named. Because if he's not named,
I'm not confident. I'm worried.
at an issue.
Yeah.
But then we still get opening round.
They're not going to push him into that
No.
if he's underdone. All right, anyway, Saturday 3:10, Saints versus Port. I'm watching Hugo Garcia again because I cannot speak highly enough of what I saw the other day.
Yeah.
Talk about reactive. Like, I saw enough to go, okay, Hugo's ready now. I want him in. So I didn't look at his score or anything like that. I looked at the CBAs. I looked at the way he was going about his play. And if I see anything like that again, I will force my own hand. Grab it and, make the move.
Click him in. Saturday 6:10, West Coast and North Melbourne. Elijah Hewitt. Now,
Right.
talk
He's
about
sat
it.
in there the whole
Look, we have
pre-season.
at our F6, free ride Hewitt, I call him,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair call.
I'm worried. The scoring, I don't think is going to be there for him.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. He plays for West Coast.
Tell him what he did in Match Sim, dog.
What are you doing, Match Sim?
B team.
Oh, no!
That's where he started.
Well, that's why we need to keep an eye on it. That is
Yeah.
a massive concern.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, cross him off. But watch him. But cross him off.
Sunday
He'll be right.
will be the last game. That's Freo and Melbourne. Nathan O'Driscoll's
Yes.
the one that we watch because, again, if we don't have these rookies, he could be that inflated rookie to do that wing role after what we saw in that Indigenous All-Stars
This
game.
is what it's happening, isn't it? Like it's
I think so.
Garcia, Gerard. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think it is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, does he, like M6 is sort of where you
Yeah.
have him?
Yep.
And this is then going to depend on what you might be doing with some of those other guys that we're watching, like your Hollands, Peatling, etc.
Yes.
How many can you sort of fit in that range?
Because the rookie crisis is real.
It's gross, but
It's making
I
the
think we're
mid-price
doing it.
madness get a little bit more real.
Look, rookies dictate your team.
They do.
Do they?
It dictates your structure. So, yeah, I think these guys are where we need to go.
I need to edit my saying on that.
Go.
Your must-haves and mid-prices dictate your structure just as much.
Oh, God,
As
you
rookies.
can't have a saying as like a full
I know.
book.
I'm going to workshop it. I'll get you to workshop it, Cal.
Well, that's
Your
not gonna
brain's
work.
working and firing all cylinders at the moment.
What's your slogan? Let me just open my book. It's a slogan, dog. It's got to be like bang.
Yeah, punchy.
I'll do some sort
Can't
of
keep saying,
Shakespearean
and
thing if you'd like.
then,
You're a peanut. We're looking forward to the AAMI Community Series coming up, so you can catch all of the live stats for these ones, which will include things like time on ground percentage, which is good to watch, and hopefully some better camera angles and all that with our Fox Footy coverage when you're watching that on Fox or KO or wherever you are getting that, and all the highlights will be on afl.com.au, but the AFL app will have the Match Centre and AFL website will. And
That
so
will
you'll
be
be able
nice.
to see
Oh, yes.
real scores, real stats. Thank you to all the legends that have done that.
great
because
work,
it has been
guys.
hats
cool.
off.
But you don't need to do it anymore.
The real
Yeah.
thing now. All right, we'll be back during the week for our epic call of Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn here at Utah Stadium. So make sure you tune into that on the AFL website and AFL app. It'll be, good 3 hours of us talking some rubbish while
Sounds
watching
good.
some footy.
Sounds good.